start already. Hello, hello. Hai, Teo Chao Siong, supaya Pao Ai Ling, Wesley, Fang Yao Lim. Okay, I promise you all difference. The other day, hari tu di masa saya buat Zumba kan, korang sudah nampak, this is my living room. So now I'm in the living room. Yes, background change. Hi Josie, how are you? Okay. I have to invite. Wait on. Okay. Hello. Josie, Yin Lu, hi. Ping Hong Go, 晚上好. Josie, thank you very much. Wah, sudah shift. You notice, huh? Okay. Eric Lien, how are you? I'm fine. Karen, 晚上好. Cheng Hong Lim. I change background already, okay? Change background already. Wah, thank you very much for helping me to answer the question on face mask. Terima kasih. Hazrul Hafizi, apa kabar? Dylan, background special sikit. Background hari ini saya tukar. Hari tu saya di dining room, hari ini saya di living room. Okay, background hari ini sebenarnya hari tu saya buat Zumba pun memang background ini. Sam Eng, I look tired. Okay lah, today actually is better than other days. Today I'm quite rested. So terima kasih. Good evening, Stephen Lim. What's up, YB? What's up, Fabian Yo? How are you? Liu, good evening to you. Chu, Amanda, hi. Lee Yvonne, 晚上好. Tian Ti Teo, 晚上好. Okay. Hari ini kita ada special guest kan? Korang tahu kan siapa special guest saya? Tunggu saya tengok ni. Korang tahu tak siapa special guest saya? Wah, Fang Yao Lim, you're very smart, huh? You know that usually my technical specialist sit here while I sit in the dining room. That's my place in the house lah. The living room is my technical specialist. I can only sit in the dining room. Hey, Acuan ke? Ni hao. Wah, dari Perlis, Teh Seng Chuan, apa kabar? Terima kasih Hazrul. Semoga anda juga terus sihat dan kuat. Chai Seng, Jason, that's right. Tan Tuan Yong, hi, good evening to you. Ariel Muhammad Nur, selamat malam, apa kabar? Chan, hi. Zep Antonio, hello everyone. Wah, Lee, you mean saya punya face mask sudah kena curi daripada post box anda? Tak apa, relax. Hi, 晚上好. Kathy, how are you, Dr. Kathy? How's your practice? Please stay safe, all our frontliners. Can relax lah. Okay lah, sini lebih relax lah. Okay, selamat petang kepada semua. Hari ini merupakan hari ke-28 Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan. This is the 28th day of the MCO. Dan hari ini juga merupakan hari terakhir untuk MCO ataupun PKP 2.0. Besok kita masuk PKP 3.0. 今天我们是 这个行动管制令第28天，也是第2期的最后一天，明天我们进入最后一期啊，希望是最后一期啦啊！你们如果乖乖住在家里，不要乱跑的话，那么就最后一期。如果不乖，可能会延迟到5月哦。Okay, saya tadi kata saya harap ini PKP 3.0 merupakan fasa terakhir. Kalau anda semua duduk rumah baik-baik, jangan ke sana, ke sini. Mungkin kita kali terakhir, fasa terakhir. Kalau tidak, mungkin boleh expand sampai ke bulan Mei. Okay. Eason, yes, change location today. Penang 3 case. Yes, hari ini Pulau Pinang ada 3 case. 3 case. Jadi kita mesti terus berusaha. Tapi tak ada kluster baru. Okay. That is a good news lah at least. Chong, hi, good evening. This morning I went to Maybank. Wah, banyak orang beratur. Saya pun malas nak beratur lah. Jadi saya tak jadi. Si Hong, hi. Your family, Chan, where you stay? Mana you tinggal, okay? Di mana you tinggal. Okay, like that, I just want to explain again the face mask issue. Everyone asking me about face mask. Sebab korang nampak kan saya punya... korang nampak saya punya apa tu? Facebook, letak saya pergi bagi face mask, ada di Berapit, ada di Pematang Tinggi, di Padang Lelang, ada di Bukit Mentajam ni. Okay, macam ini. Ramai orang tanya. Dia orang tanya, bila nak sampai taman dia? Okay, ini saya punya jawapan. Semalam saya sudah bagi. Ada kawan-kawan sini pun boleh jawab dah. Okay, face mask memang tak cukup. Tapi apa yang kita buat ialah bila kita dapat face mask di Bukit Mentajam, first kita bagi kepada frontliners. Jadi saya bagi kepada di rela, pasukan rela, saya bagi kepada balai-balai polis kecil, terutamanya balai polis besar mungkin ramai yang sudah bagi, tetapi balai polis kecil, contohnya di Macang Bubuk, di Bukit Mentajam, yang kecil lebih mungkin orang tak nampak, polis trafik mereka sentiasa kena bekerja. Jadi saya bagi kepada mereka, ada bomba-bomba yang saya bagi, itu first. Okay. Keduanya saya bagi ke tempat-tempat B40. Contohnya rumah-rumah kos rendah, flat-flat kerajaan, kampung-kampung. Okay, itu saya nak bagi dulu sebab mungkin mereka lebih susah nak dapat, sekarang mahal dan sebagainya. Kalau anda desperate, perlu emas, tak mampu beli, tak dapat beli di Bukit Mentajam, orang Bukit Mentajam ini untuk orang Bukit Mentajam, korang boleh PM saya dan kita akan cuba hantarkan sebab saya nak fokus kepada kita pergi ke banyak tempat-tempat B40 dulu, tempat-tempat yang low income dulu. Sebab kita nak bagi priority kepada mereka lah. Sebab kadang-kadang orang yang tinggal di taman saya pun ada yang minta. Jiran-jiran saya kata tak apalah, korang boleh beli. Saya tahu susah nak beli tetapi at least you can buy. Give it to orang-orang di low cost flat. Mereka kena keluar kerja. Tapi tak dapat beli emas ataupun terlalu mahal dan sebagainya. Jadi kita fokus kepada mereka dulu. Tapi kalau anda, if any of you feels that you need a mask urgently, desperately, and you cannot buy it, you cannot afford it, just PM me. Saya akan cuba untuk menghantar kepada anda. Okay? Lai juru ci ji fan. Juru ci ji fan啊，你鸡饭有开吗？现在？哎呀 ，OK， 会到来的事业潮啊，事业潮。Today we don't want to discuss 事业潮 yet we don't want to discuss about unemployment yet. Saya setiap hari pun ada discuss banyak topik. Hari ini kita akan fokus kepada kita punya tetamu khas. Ya, saya pun nak dengar dia cakap apa nanti. Okay, TikTok. Julian, Ideal, apa kabar? Yes, I notice one thing. Saya notice satu benda, bukan saja di Penang, di seluruh negara, banyak sekarang orang keluar rumah. Apa salah? Korang ingat sudah habis kah benda ini? Belum habis lagi tau. Please, seperti saya kata, please tell your family and friends. Bagi tahu kawan-kawan dan juga keluarga anda. Benda ni takkan kita nak pergi tangkap anti angka, orang-orang tua. Takkan nak suruh polis pergi tangkap mereka. So kita bagi tahu mereka, kita tarik mereka, jangan bagi keluar. Saya dah cakap ada banyak kes di mana mereka message saya, dia kata dia berjaya menasihatkan kawan dia jangan keluar, menasihatkan datuk neneknya jangan keluar. So kita jalankan tanggungjawab masing-masing. Tak guna marah-marah dalam online. we tell our friends, no point just scolding on internet yeah. 你骂在网上在面子书没有用的，我们一起做我们的角色去advise 去 advise 怎样讲华语去 advise 他们，叫我们的朋友们，我们家人不要出来，乖乖在家里我现在看到很多车sekarang nampak tiap-tiap hari macam kereta bertambah. Okay, Muhammad Sufi, baik, khabar baik. Hai. Okay, Juru, you stay in Juru on the way lah, relax Chan. Juru is not my area, but okay lah. Taman Kinway receive already, yes. Taman Bukit not yet. Relax. Taman Bukit, the house also big. Relax a bit lah. Right. Yes, Wagen, Penang cases, kita semua tahu kluster mana Kluster mana, Kementerian Kesihatan tahu. Tidak ada kluster baru setakat ini. Ada Mahmud, kita bagi balai-balai kecil. Sebab kita tahu abang-abang polis kita di balai kecil kadang-kadang orang tak terlepas pandang kan. Contohnya di kampung Macam Bubuk ada sebuah balai. Memang orang selalu terlepas pandang. Orang bagi balai di Bandar Pedah, balai-balai besar, IPK. Tetapi balai-balai kecil pondok polis tu semua orang tak pandang. Jadi kita cuba bagi kepada mereka. Okay. Even, stay healthy. Thank you. You too. Wow, okay, I want to show this. This is very good. Lim Kim Hui, your guys came to Taman Bukit Indah today to distribute face mask. So in Brapit dia sudah pergi semua kawasan orang miskin, sekarang dia pergi kawasan orang kaya, Taman Bukit. I didn't take them because I received my online order today. This is exemplary. Okay, ini adalah contoh yang baik, tauladan yang baik. Kita sekarang bukan Christmas. Jangan salah faham. Sini sekarang bukan Christmas. Tak kira face mask, makanan, bantuan, duit, semua tu bukan semua orang dapat Jangan kata dia dapat, saya pun nak dapat Kita bagi kepada yang memerlukannya. Dan kita jujur dengan sendiri. Let's be honest to ourselves. This is not Christmas. Don't say that, that fella get, I also want to get. Whether it's mask or food or whatever cash. I know, is that what you say? Why I didn't get, that fella get? I'm... okay lah, I don't want to mention name. But, you see, this is a very good example for us. Lim Kim Hui. Dia walaupun dia dapat, tapi dia tak ambil. Dia tak ambil, bagi kepada orang lain. Sebab memang tak cukup. Alright, terima kasih Lim Kim Hui. Fu Kang Heng, ni Wansang Hao. Radiance, why you laugh? Taman Bukit, why you laugh? Okay, more kenderaan, that's right. Okay. Many factory reopen, itu pun kita pening lah. That's why we need a plan. That's why semalam bos tulis satu artikel tentang bagaimana kita boleh menilai sama ada boleh buka atau tidak. Yesterday I wrote an article, how do we judge whether we can open up or relax the MCO. Dua benda, satu ialah statistics, the stats must be low. Number two is the system preparedness, readiness must be high. System kena ready, angka kes kena rendah. Masalahnya mungkin kita angka kes rendah, tapi sistem kita, tengok sekarang ramai orang pergi keluar sini sana dan penjarakan sosial, itu yang saya bimbangkan sekarang Okay. Alright. I want to quickly, hi. Wah, YB Teo Kok Siong from Negeri Sembilan. You everyday also FaceTime, I see. Not FaceTime, Facebook Live. Your car need to go out for exercise. Better not. Police tangkap, bawa terus ke mahkamah. Don't exercise your car. You know what I did in my house? I just on the engine, bagi rang. Never even pull down the brake. Okay, that's what I do lah. The exercise itu macam cukup apa salah? Apa salah sekarang bank Chong works in a bank. Okay, Chong dia kerja di bank. Mengapa hari ini 2-3 hari ini ramai orang pergi ke bank Saya pun tak faham. Sebenarnya online banking korang boleh buat tau. Okay, saya tahu banyak orang-orang yang dia lebih tua, dia tak pandai online banking. So all of you, young people, whether you have, kalau sama ada anda ada orang tua di rumah atau tidak, instead of posting marah-marah punya benda, instead of posting fake news on Facebook, korang buatlah sesi, buat poster ataupun ajar orang macam mana nak guna online banking, order food dengan Food Panda, Grab Food dan sebagainya So at least kita buat kerja masing-masing lah. Bagi orang tengok. Orang tua saya tahu dia banyak Facebook ada. A lot of senior citizens they have Facebook. So we teach them lah. We send them instead of the good morning, we send them a poster. Good morning, and then how to use online banking. Okay. Alright. Buku apa yang saya baca masa MCO? Firdaus, hari tu saya baca buku Profesor Muhammad Haji Saleh, sastrawan negara, The Mind of the Malay Author. Dia cerita tentang pantun, hikayat dan sebagainya. Tapi hari ni, sejak semalam saya terima sebuah buku baru, saya dah tunjuk semalam di Facebook saya, tentang salah silah dan juga sejarah Istana Perlis, The House of Jamalulail, ya, pemerintah kerajaan negeri Perlis. Okay, sekarang saya rasa sudah hampir tiba masanya. Okay, I want to invite tetamu saya. Tetamu saya ini, dia ni, nanti ya. Okay, tetamu saya ini, dia ni seorang yang amat unik lah. Seorang yang amat unik. Sebenarnya dia doktor. Dia doktor. Tapi dia tak kerja sebagai doktor. Setahu saya lah, nanti kita tanya dia. Dia doktor, he's a doctor. But he doesn't work as a doctor. He works as a comedian. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's a good thing or not. But at the same time, when I post up his photo, ramai yang cakap, ini muka jolo . Saya sebenarnya rasa dia lagi handsome sikit lah. Ya, kalau dia yang pergi pikat Paris Hilton semua, mungkin dia boleh dapat lah. Walaupun jolo orang Penang, tapi we are not proud of him lah. So this guy, very famous guy. One of the reason why I ask him is number one, sebab dia doktor. Saya pun nak dengar juga. Saya dah jemput ramai doktor dalam Facebook live saya. Saya nak dengar dia punya pandangan pakar perubatan itu. Satu, tapi keduanya, he is an entertainer. Dia seorang penghibur. Dan saya dah kata, MCO ini, masa PKP ini, kita nak relax, ya. Kita nak perlukan ketabahan physical and mental. We need the mental strength to face PKP together. So today we want to listen to him, ya. Akan ada banyak jenaka, joke. So korang jangan pembaris sangat lah. Tahu apa itu pembaris lah? Nanti terasa sikit, terasa sini hati tisu, ya. Kalau orang-orang hati tisu hari ini 18 PL. Okay, today is 18 PL. Korang boleh keluar. Bukan saya nak halau, tapi yang hati tisu, please. Today we are going to be very honest, but at the same time, I hope it's funny lah, because we are inviting a funny man. Okay, saya tak mau cakap panjang. Terus saya nak jemput dia lah, because I think he is a better speaker than me. Nowadays, never mind, I invite him, then we talk. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jason Leong. Hello. Hello, Doc.
Oh, hello. Hi, YB.
Thanks
for having me.
How are you? Where are you now? Where are you hiding now?
I
thought you were
yes, I am hiding in Sembang-sembang because my wife works in Hospital Kuala Pilah in the ICU. So I helped her move house. I'm stuck here for a while.
IGP, Sembang-sembang. Okay.
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 That's a really original joke. No one has ever cracked that joke before. Well done.
Hey, you know why or not? Nowadays, we see a lot of politicians becoming comedian. So I'm wondering whether comedians also want to become politician or not. Have you ever thought of becoming a politician yourself?
No. The first answer to that is no, because in Malaysia, politicians are way funnier than comedians can ever be. So, I mean, the stuff politicians say in the news these days, we all just surrender. There's no way we can be funnier than that. So that's one. The second thing is, on a serious note, I feel that as a comedian, you have more freedom to say things. You know what I mean? If you become a politician, you serve the rakyat, and then you don't have as much freedom to say the things that you really want to say. So I think...
Wait. Are you confusing politicians and doctors when you say the serve the rakyat?
Well, I think if you join politics, you should serve the rakyat lah. So I feel that as a comedian, I get to say things. As a politician, you serve the rakyat. So at least I feel that if I remain a comedian, I have the freedom, and also the politicians serve me in a way. That's how it should be.
But the interesting thing is, you didn't start off as a comedian. You studied medicine, really? Medicine?
Yes, sir. Actually,
You are
I
or not?
studied
You
in
graduate or not?
yeah.
You graduate or not?
Yes. I did a twinning program. I was in University College Dublin, Ireland, and then I twinned with Penang Medical College. So I studied and worked in Penang for 4.5 years.
Oh,
Yes.
so you have a little bit of affinity with Penang lah.
Yeah. I always say that Penang's my second favorite city after Klang Valley, where I normally live. My mom's from Penang, Sungai Bakap, Jawi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They have the roots in
Yeah.
Penang. Okay.
Yes,
That's very
and
nice.
I have a few relatives in your constituency, BM. Yeah.
Where do they stay? Do you know?
I don't know the exact location, but don't worry, they voted for you. They voted for you. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. You tell me where they stay, then I can send them some face masks.
Thank you.
Okay. When you studied medicine, and we know, no joke lah to study medicine. Just like you didn't answer me.
Yes.
You graduated, right?
Yes. I graduated in 2009, and then I worked for 4.5 years. Then I became a full-time comedian.
Okay. So my mom, when I decided to go into politics and not pursue my computer engineering, you can imagine the weeks and months of nagging. Doctor, you study 5 years and then you just decided to be. If you are from a doctor, you become a developer, a businessman, a CEO, still okay. Comedian, man, bro, how lah?
Yeah. So, I know you're gonna ask about my parents' reaction. So in the beginning, I didn't tell them, so they had no choice. They had no chance to react. And after a while, when it dawned upon them that I'm not going to go back to medicine, by that time I was earning a decent living. So then they're okay lah.
Okay, I'm glad because I just want to let you know that my wife and I, we watch your show every year for the last 9
thank you.
or 10 years. For the last 9 or 10 years, sometimes in KL, but mostly in Penang, when MNCC, had your show in Penang. It's amazing. So actually today, to tell you a secret, which I probably told you before this, the reason why I invited you is because my wife has been bugging me to invite you.
Thank you.
I've invited Lee Chong Wei. I've invited one of my colleagues from Aitam, from Sarawak, and then 2 days ago we had two very senior veteran artists in the Chinese music industry in Malaysia. Then my wife said, "Come on, man, can you please invite Jason Leong? So I had to do this lah for her as well. So I hope, Jorin, you're watching.
Thank you.
Okay, you are a medical doctor, and I've seen some of your commentaries on the current issues these days, since you cannot go out.
Yes.
Before that, what is the first thing you want to do after MCO? This is a very common question I ask all my guests.
Okay, right after MCO is lifted, before this lockdown was started, I was doing a lot of hiking and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ. It's a very modern martial art right now. So the first thing this lifted, I want to go hiking and I want to go do some BJJ, and I want to eat some really good chicken rice and bak kut teh.
Then you have to come to Penang lah.
Nice. Penang bak kut teh is pretty good, but I prefer the ones in Klang.
Okay, come to BM, visit your relative, bring you to a very nice bak kut teh. Okay. Ada orang kata kalau buat live tak boleh maki, cakap 2 orang dalam bilik saja. Muhammad Saleh boleh maki tapi jangan sensitif. Hari ini kita live relax, okay? Nak maki, makilah. Tapi korang tak boring ke? Tiap-tiap hari maki, tiap-tiap hari marah. Okay. There have been a few comments lately. Being a medical doctor yourself, there have been a few comments lately, especially from our politicians, minum air suam. Speaking of which,
minum air suam.
Boleh minum air suam? Bawa itu virus turun ke perut? dan asid lawan virus.
Yeah,
Kalah.
I think that one was a big blunder by our Minister of Health, and it has been debunked quite widely. Even by myself, I put out a video debunking what he said. The reason why I was so upset with that statement, if it was said by anyone else, I wouldn't have minded so much. But it comes from the top doctor, the Minister of Health himself, and it is very dangerous because it is at a time where we need people to socially distance, and stay at home. And when the top doctor says something like this, then people have the false sense of security. Like, oh, that means I can go out, I can go jogging, I can go mix with people as long as I drink ice swam, it's fine. So it is absolutely ridiculous, and I think he was rightfully debunked, but not just by me, but other people. And it was very important then that I think maybe the next day the DG of Health was asked that at the press conference, and he also very professionally said that it's all evidence based. So unfortunately, what the Minister of Health said was not based on evidence, and that's why we need to. We are fighting a war against fake news also, and rubbish facts that are passed on WhatsApp. So it's very important that we challenge this kind of statements.
That's right. I thought so too, because like you say, it gives us a sense of a false sense of security.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we need to be on our toes and challenge this kind of statements.
Right. Okay. Wah, tengok ramai orang marah-marah. Bukan ramai lah, 2-3 orang lah. Okay, yang marah-marah, we have a lot of friends here. Okay, we have a lot of friends here. So those of you who are regular here, I think we can ignore those who marah-marah lah. Yeah, dia hari. Actually, you attracted more this marah-marah crowd than me. You know, I've been doing this for 20 over days. What's your problem, bro?
I apologize for ruining your stream.
Hey, no.
But it's okay. No. We have more friends than
yes.
Okay.
We have more friends than troll, and I think sometimes people can judge for themselves lah. The way how we act and react, you know.
But you know what? Finally, after so many things that happen in the country, at least I can say without irony that this live stream semua salah DAP.
Hey, you know what? No, one of your shows. Yes. I've been to your show for 10 years, yeah, and your friends are. So I noticed, you know, the old shows, they were all backing the government, and then when we became government, you guys backed us as well. And I was at the audience. I was laughing along lah. You were backing my boss, Lim Guan Eng, and I was like, oh, okay. So I think one of the things that Malaysians need to learn to do is learn to laugh at ourselves.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to political humor, people must understand that comedy is used as a tool to punch up, i.e. to punch upwards to the people in power. And this art form, stand-up comedy, has its roots way back in the times of ancient Greece.
Oh.
Okay. Now you must understand, back then, people couldn't speak up against the politicians. So what they did is they created plays, and in the plays, they created the characters of politicians who are stupid. So then the plays featured stupid politicians in a very indirect way of criticizing the politicians then. So comedy has always had this ethos that you must speak truth to power and punch up. So that is something that we stand-up comedians, or at least the good ones, must strive to do.
Actually, you think about it, not just ancient Greek, in fact, ancient China. You have
interesting. Okay.
You have stories like the Journey to the West, right? It was written around in the Ming Dynasty. Basically, somebody was telling me that it was actually a satire, a political satire. The King of Heaven, the Emperor in Heaven, is actually a representative of the real Emperor. So the real Emperor is very incompetent, and the monkey is actually a hero, a rebel. You know, who rebelled. So, very nicely, you know, interesting story, but full of subtle messages.
Innuendo.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Just a question. After MCO, I mean, were you planning any shows in this seasons that you have cancelled or?
Okay. Interestingly, this year because my daughter was born in October, and last year I did two major tours. So I already planned for 2020. I chill out a bit, right? So every year I will go to Melbourne for the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Oh,
However, this year, for the first time in decades, the Melbourne Comedy Festival was cancelled. And so I was kind of lucky in the sense that I did not plan any major tours. Um, but moving forward, I foresee that even if the MCO is lifted, which I think it will be lifted in stages, I think live events will be quite dead for some time because when you do stand-up comedy, you are actually asking people to do the opposite of socially distance. You're asking them to crowd themselves in a
yeah, yeah.
small theater for 1 hour. So I think because that is such contrary to what we should do now, I think conservative estimate, the rest of 2020, there won't be any live events. So I don't think I'll be doing any live stand-up shows. But of course, I'm preparing for next year.
So what do you do? Moving on from now until end of the year, if you are not doing shows.
Well, what I've been doing is, as you can see, I've been doing my videos, which I like to call the all-day show with no budget with Jason Leong.
Oh, that's the thing that you're doing now almost every day.
Yes. Yeah, so that's not every day. It's about 3-4 days once because I'm doing everything myself. I write, perform, produce, edit, record everything by myself. It takes about 8 hours of my time to do one episode. I've done about four episodes. The fifth one is coming soon. So this pandemic and the lockdown has forced me to pivot towards doing more online content. I should have been doing this already, putting myself out more on social media, but it's a blessing in disguise that now I have the time and the captive audience because everyone is stuck at home. I have more eyeballs, so it has forced me in a good way to do more content online.
Right. Actually, to be frank, this whole new scenario has forced us to speed up, the rate of going digital, especially for businesses. In Penang, interestingly, last week we launched what we call Jom Beli Online campaign, a campaign Jom Beli Online, where the local councils are signing up hawkers. Hawkers in Penang, they are very proud of how their food. They're very proud of their food, and they're also very proud of how they do business. Customers will go and line up, under the hot sun just to makan Penang food lah. But so before MCO, before PKP, they were somehow resisting, going online. Yes. And I've got feedback from all these delivery companies. They say that your Penang hawkers are very hard to sign up. Because we are so used to the way we do things in Penang, and it works all this while. So what happened is throughout this whole season, more and more people are signing up, more and more hawkers are signing up. And the councils, we are encouraging. For example, we couldn't have Pasar Ramadan. And how, even though I'm not Muslim, are you Muslim? Hello? Are you there?
No.
Okay. So
Hello,
even though
no.
Yeah, even though we are
still
not
here.
Yeah. Even though we are not Muslims, but we all enjoy Pasar Ramadan as much as our Muslim friends, neighbors.
Same.
Problem now is bila tak boleh buat Pasar Ramadan, Bazar Ramadan, how? Macam mana? So the council in Penang, we encourage them. We set up e-bazaar so that they can still sell their, all their satay and all this Ramadan fairs lah. And in a way, this may be one of the positive outcomes from this whole crisis, where we begin to consider a new way of doing things, etc., including like what do you call it, online banking. I was just saying, everyone is lining up at the bank. Even today, everyone's lining up at the bank. But more and more, I see people are using online transaction.
Yeah, I think that's another good thing of this. One of the few good things about this pandemic is that it has forced more people to do stuff online, stuff digitally. Like, I'm sure you've been to China, and I have never been to China, but I've heard stories where almost every citizen needs to use WeChat for everything, from messaging to online banking and everything. And my friends tell me stories of how, the beggars on the street they have a QR code that you can scan to give them money. And even the uncle selling kacang by the roadside, you buy only using a QR code and WeChat. So I think that's great. I think cashless transactions in Malaysia, we will always been behind other countries like say Singapore. Whereas in Singapore, everything you can buy everything in Singapore with a debit card or even on your smartphone. But Malaysia, especially Kuala Lumpur, is lagging behind. Maybe this is the one that will push us forward. I'm looking forward to what happens after all this is said and done.
Yeah, right. What do you think? Okay, how do you think we're going to? I think, especially the entertainment industry, like cinemas, concerts, shows, or even sports. I think the impact on this industry is going to be huge. How do you think we, as an entertainer yourself, and as somebody who is involved in this industry, what do you think we can deal? How do you think we can deal with this new normal, or what we call in Penang the next normal, in particularly for say sports, entertainment, etc.
Well, I think like for me, I'll answer for myself first. I predict that probably one of the few live shows I do will be, it has to be in a theater, but it'll be socially distanced. Like couples will sit maybe 2 or 3 seats away from the next couple or the next group of people, and so on and so forth. And then every person that comes in will get scanned to see if they have a fever, and there'll be hand sanitizers on the ready. I think if you look at the trends of other pandemics, things will come back to normal, and in the future, live events will make a comeback. There's no doubt about it. Especially like concerts and stuff. It is actually financially not feasible to not pack a stadium or a theater or an arena for an event.
That's the point.
That just cannot work. But I think it'll take some time for the crowds to come back, and the reason why I say it will come back but much later is because it is actually human tendency to want to partake in an experience together. I know that nowadays there's a push for like entertainers to do stuff online, but when a particular performance is meant to be experienced live, it should be experienced live. So I think it'll just take some time. Everyone needs to be patient. Of course, the real problem is from now until the day when the crowds come back. Unfortunately, there'll be some entertainment businesses like promoters, concert organizers, and even some venues which will crumble because they don't have the cash flow to sustain their business. That is the unfortunate side effect of all this.
What I like what you say. There is a difference between watching a concert on your screen on TV and watching concert live. And definitely there's a difference between watching Jason Leong MACC on YouTube and watching it live.
Yeah. So definitely that's why people pay money to come and watch the show unfold in front of their eyes. I think live events won't go away. It just take some time.
Yeah. Okay. One of our friends, he's my friend also lah. If he's watching this, sorry bro. And I heard your video. He's also your friend, Dr. Afif. Dr. Afif.
Yes.
So you were working with Afif together?
Yes, we were working as house officers in Penang General Hospital.
Same time.
In my head, I think either he joined slightly later or I joined slightly later, but we definitely overlapped. I remember, I think we worked together in the medical department together. So we definitely overlapped, yeah.
So you actually know him lah?
Yeah. And after I left the Penang, I transferred to KL, but we still kept in touch off and on. And then after he became, I think after 2013 elections, he became the state exco in Penang. So and he tried to get me to do a gig in Penang. So yeah, we I think we the date, we couldn't make the dates. Yeah, but I also know I also worked together briefly with his wife Madia. They're all decent people.
No, of course. He's he's a good friend. We are still on WhatsApp chat together. But seriously, the thing about cutting hair, what do you think? Should we open up? Okay, not just cutting barber shops or even hair salon, but what about say spectacles and things like that? Some people are asking us, what if my spectacles are broken? What do I do?
Yeah, actually, I as a guy who wears spectacles. As a guy who wears spectacles, I'm also quite worried because, like, if my spectacles get broken, there's no way I can go and get them fixed. The second issue is with the reopening of barbers. Of course, now is not the time to reopen barbers. Now, to YB Afif's credit, he actually had a lot of good points about how, like, if you reopen the barber shops, it should be in a controlled manner with stringent procedures, and it helps kickstart some of the B40 because they work in the barber shops. So I get all that. So that's why I didn't attack him in any of those points. It's just that he just made one mistake which was too big for me to ignore, which is he quoted the New England Journal of Medicine study, which that study was under very different conditions. So, and if you say in your tweet that cutting hair has a gunting rambut ada asas dalam mengurangkan tekanan darah mengikut New England Journal of Medicine, it gives the impression that cutting hair can lower your blood pressure, but that's not the case. It's, if you read the journal or you read the study, it's they did two groups. One group had pharmacists present at the barber shops giving advice, and the other group had barbers trained barbers. They trained the barbers to give the clientele advice on lifestyle modification and visits to doctors. So, like I said again, when this kind of misleading statements come from the medical fraternity themselves, we need to challenge it, because you can't let it go unchallenged. That's what I'm saying. Right. But then I think he'd be cool about it. No, he has not WhatsApp to scold me, so I think we're cool.
No, but I think you're right. When Afis talk about opening up, we have to open up with a clear guideline. And I think this is not just for barbers, but also for factories, for
everything.
Yeah. Or even, what we're going to do. If you allow companies to open, I mean, there are companies who are honest. They will set gold standard for public health measures, for what do you call it, temperature taking, social distancing within their own floors. But there are also companies, I'm not saying that they are fake, but maybe because they don't know how, especially smaller ones, they don't know how to, what are the standards for COVID-19. I'm not sure whether the regular safety measures would, I think we have to contextualize it into COVID-19 protocols. So I think this is something very important guideline. Even if you want to open up factories or business premises, the government has to introduce these sort of protocols.
Yeah, I think so. That's why in times of this kind of crisis, everyone looks up to leadership for guidance, and strong leadership is needed. Unfortunately, as I'm sure you're acutely aware, our current government is not exactly one that stands on a very solid foundation of legitimacy. So that is the most unfortunate thing. So, but I think for now, most Malaysians are quite compliant, and it's interesting to see that how when the government said that, hey, you may reopen barbers, then the Malaysian Hairdressing Association came out with a statement themselves saying that we are not going to reopen. So I think that there is common sense.
Those who stand to lose the most.
Yeah. So there is common sense amongst Malaysians ourselves. It's not that we are going to follow blindly. We're able to take stock and say, okay, that's not a really good idea. Can we readdress this? And look, they have now flipped on the decision and said, okay, no more opening of barbers. So at least the one thing I can say about the current government is they are listening. So,
but interestingly, when they changed their stand, we said they're listening. I mean, I agree. Government changes stance sometimes. In the past, when we were government, when we changed our stand, their side will say, U-turn. I think that's politics.
Yeah.
But
I think that's why I think we should rise. Go ahead.
One very interesting personality that we are seeing today is this Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, the DG for Health Department.
Yes.
Was he a DG when you were houseman?
I can't remember. I don't think so. I think when I was a house officer, it was his predecessor. But I did once perform stand-up comedy in front of him. It was at the anesthetist annual dinner, and he happened to be there. And he was the DG. Then I asked him, "Hey, DG, can government doctors get paid more?" Yeah. I become a big fan of Dr. Nur Hisham. He is a very steady hand in these times of crisis, and he's very professional. I think his press conference, his daily press briefings, should be the gold standard for all press briefings by government agencies and the ministers themselves.
Very straight to the point, transparent, very clear messaging. No, I think please.
And also, like, it's very important for the public to know that this is a guy who is taking charge of the fight against COVID-19. And if you listen to his daily press conferences, I listen to it almost every day. I wait for the live stream. He's very non-partisan, which is the correct thing to do because you're a civil servant. You serve the riot, not your political masters or whatever. So whenever the journalists ask him about, say, the I Swam comment by the minister, he answered it so diplomatically and in a very general way, saying that, look, this is based on evidence. And I think that's very important, to show that the civil service is non-partisan. I think that it would be great for Malaysia if our civil service was non-partisan.
Right. Somehow, Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah has become a figure of stability, especially in this time of crisis and uncertainty. You have political leaders changing sides and whatnot. So he has become some kind of stabilizing force. And I think it is good because, especially when we are facing crisis, at least now we have an authority to look towards.
Mm-hmm. And so what is interesting, I find, about our Ministry of Health is that if you remember, the doctors and nurses in our Ministry of Health in Malaysia are vastly and grossly underpaid. And yet, despite this setback, they are able to produce almost first-class healthcare, ranked the top in the world, and able to help contain this pandemic in a very, very well, I would say, quite comparable to first world nations. So I think what I hope, I'm out of the service now, but I hope that in the future, doctors and nurses get paid more. Okay.
So comedy pays better or medicine pays better?
Well, it depends on whether you are a doctor in the private sector or in the government sector. But I can say without shame that a doctor my age, I'm 35 years old, a doctor my age in the government sector would earn less than what I earn as a stand-up comedian in Malaysia.
And we realized that at this point, they were the ones that were saving our life. They are saving our life, in these crucial times.
Yeah. The harsh reality in Malaysia is this, right? A 35-year-old doctor in government service will get paid less than a banker his age, a lawyer his age, an engineer his age. But here's the thing. An engineer may not need a lawyer. A lawyer may not need a banker. A banker may not need an engineer. But all these people will at some point in their lives need a doctor. Why are doctors paid so low in Malaysia? That is a very important issue which we must address, because in the future there'll be another pandemic. Wouldn't it be better handled if we had more capable doctors on board?
Right. Wow, we have gone into big serious issues. But maybe one last point here. Recently, this person, Dr. Musa Nordin, he has commented.
Yes.
He has commented about the lack of about how the frontliners on the ground working in an environment with limited resources and all. And what happened immediately was he was accused of being a DAP person. I have never even heard of him before the incident. Immediately he was accused of being a DAP person. Immediately he was accused of being a PH advisor, and there's somebody from UMNO even say he should be fired. He's a doctor, he's a frontline doctor. He should be fired. And what happened, interestingly, and they were trying to pit Dr. Musa against Dr. Nur Hisham, which I think was not the case, because both of them are obviously doctors who are very professional, who are concerned about their patients, who are concerned about their work. And interestingly, yesterday, Dr. Nur Hisham himself came out to say that equipment such as PPE, they need it. They are calling for donations for PPE. So I think from this incident, we can see very clearly that the problem in our country is reflected within just this one incident. People want to politicize everything. People want to, racialize everything. This is a simple matter about our frontliners needing proper equipments, and then people can go one round saying, "Oh, DAP, semuanya salah DAP."
To answer this question, I just want to say that if you look at Twitter and so other social media handles before Lanka Sheraton and after Lanka Sheraton, as a bystander, it is increasingly obvious that there are a group of people, and I don't think they represent the real rakyat on the ground. These are the people who just want to twist the narrative in favor of certain political parties. They will racialize everything, they will politicize everything, and they will rile up the rest of us, rational thinking people, to their benefit. Because when we get angry, they win. And if you see like all the racial bullshit really took a dive after Lanka Sheraton, because they have achieved their objective. And looking back, I realized that I myself took the bait. When they say outrageous, ridiculous things, like some of them right now in your comment stream, right? and what I've learned is, if I get angry and I respond to them, I take the bait, they win.
You're right.
Because they're trying to do damage. So as long as I don't give them the damage, they don't win. So with regards to this issue, like how like when they try to politicize Dr. Musa's comments, whatever.
Yeah.
The rakyat is not trying to do that. It's just a select group of people.
Agree.
Who want to destabilize the situation to their benefit. So when I look at Twitter, I know that these are not, because if you think about it, the people on the ground are trapped in their own homes. They just want to get out. They want to be safe with their families. That's all they want. They don't care whether the doctors treating them are Chinese, Malay, Indian. It doesn't matter. It never has when it comes to healthcare. I have doctor friends from all races, and they treat patients from all races. So it doesn't, especially when it comes to healthcare. So when people say, "Oh, this guy's a DAP advisor," or this guy, we just have to reply with facts and don't get triggered. That's all. Because I have seen their playbook. It is so clear, and now I know how to react by not giving them the benefit.
Why do you think I'm smiling and laughing despite looking at all the comments?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's just and some so looking at the comments, just like when they get so angry, right? It's just so funny because like we are just having a nice little chat here.
Yeah.
And they get angry for no reason. So I mean, let them see. And these people are not actually angry. They have an agenda to serve. So let them do their work. Let them get paid. It's good for them also.
Okay. At least somebody is getting paid here, lah. Because nobody's paying for it.
Yeah, we are not getting paid. Yeah. As long as we do the good work, I think we will prevail.
Yeah. You're right. And this is also one of the reasons why I joined politics, because I feel that some of us are called to be part of the solution there in that problem. And this is also one reason why I have this live chat or almost on a daily, in fact on a daily basis, and I invite friends from different fields, because I think we have to continue to encourage one another, especially as Malaysians.
Mm-hmm.
This is
especially in these times,
especially in this time. I, in the first 2 weeks, I spent my first 2 week, Facebook Live, trying to convince people not to get angry at senior citizens. Doesn't matter whether they are Malay, Chinese, or Indian who are going out, because going out is not a crime. This is something that all of us have to get familiarized, to. This is not normal. This is new. So we have to spend some time advising people instead of getting angry at people going to markets. I saw videos of people scolding number one, Aitam Market, of course, the famous one. But I also saw videos of people in Kelantan crowding to get things. So I said, don't get angry. People are not used to this situation. So what we need to do is to advise them, continue to encourage them. It's so easy to say, let's just use the law. Takkan we want to arrest all our auntie, uncle, akong, ama, put them into prison, pacik-pacik kan? So I think this is something that we need. Malaysians have to continue to encourage one another and continue to really have hope lah. I mean, I during the whole Langkah Sheraton period, one of the things that I said was hanya dalam gelap gelita kita bisa melihat bintang-bintang. Only when it is darkest can we see the stars ever more so clearly. So I have faith in Malaysians. I have faith in people. We have friends, like you said in the beginning of the chat. We have friends, more friends than people who are trying to throw, or people who are trying to provoke, or people trying to break us as a society, as a country.
Yeah, and like regards to all this, like don't criticize this old uncle, aunties, whatever. Again, the guiding light comes from our DG of Health when he said that don't discriminate against the clusters of COVID-19, like the people who went to the tablet in Sri Petaling. Yeah, and that's very important. And I would like to say that most of us didn't stigmatize them, we didn't discriminate against them. So I think the same should be applied to other people, not just people from the tablet. It's not their fault they went for a tablet. It's not the auntie and uncle's fault they want to get out once in a while. So, I think what you're doing is good. Just encourage people, put on a smile, and I think that will win the day.
That's right. Thank you very much for spending your evening here today. Hope to catch up with you
Pleasure.
soon.
Thank you, Saudara.
My wife will be very disappointed to know that there won't be any shows, Jason Leong, this year. But I'm sure she'll be spending a lot of our bandwidth watching your videos.
Okay, thank you. Terima kasih.
Any final advice you want to? Any final words you want to say to our friends? There are some media people who are watching also.
Okay, so I will just say one thing. This is my favorite tagline, which I came up myself. Together, we are going to fight and win against this COVID-19 pandemic. United, we stand, but not so close together.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Okay, good.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, okay. Itu dia. Okay, itu dia Dr. Jason Leong ya. Malam ini satu perbualan yang amat menarik dan saya tengok perbualan anda di bahagian komen pun amat menarik sekali ya. Seperti yang saya kata dari mula, kita jangan termakan provokasi. Ada sesetengah orang yang cuba untuk memprovokasikan sesi sembang-sembang kita. Kita teruskan sebagai rakyat Malaysia, kita terus bersabar, kita kekal bersatu dan kita kekal duduk baik-baik di rumah ya. Tak payah ain, tak payah blog. Kita bagi orang semua tengok dia punya akhlak dia ya. Saya rasa terima kasih Adib, Ain. I saw Penang CM really work hard. Yeah. Tak apa, Muhammad Saleh, Raya nak sampai, kita maaf zahir batin lah, nanti saya akan maafkan. Ya. Alright. Khairul Amin, DAP. DAP lagi ya. Bagus. Tiap-tiap malam mereka terfikir tentang DAP. Tak apa. Okey. Jadi kita tak payah nak provoke mereka. Jangan balas dengan benda yang buruk, kita jangan balas dengan yang buruk. Ya, kita teruskan, kekalkan satu semangat yang positif sebab perintah kawalan pergerakan masih lagi panjang, ada 2 minggu lagi. Jadi kita kena teruskan usaha kita dan kita kena pastikan bahawa saya dah bagi pesanan dari mula. Bukan saja kena ada ketabahan fizikal, tetapi kita juga kena ada ketabahan mental, ya, untuk mengharungi musim COVID-19. Ketabahan mental itu termasuklah kita kena positif. We have to be positive because bukan senang. Kita tahu bukan senang. Semua orang duduk di rumah dan bukan senang, terutamanya kepada mereka yang kais pagi makan pagi, kais petang makan petang. Kita faham keadaan anda. That is why kerajaan negeri, kerajaan pusat ada memberikan bantuan. Kalau anda di Pulau Pinang, bolehlah hubungi ya wakil-wakil rakyat anda. Ya. Okey. Besok ada lagi satu sesi yang menarik ya. Besok bos ada seorang tetamu khas. Jadi saya harap anda semua akan terus mengikuti sesi Sembang-sembang Steven Sim ini. Besok isu yang saya rasa akan menjadi satu isu menarik lah ya. Bukan kepada korang semua. Mungkin ada yang akan merasa isu ini isu baru. Ya, dan itulah sebabnya mengapa saya menjemput kawan saya yang akan datang besok untuk melihat dan memperkenalkan isu ini kepada orang-orang yang mungkin tidak biasa dengan isu baru ini. Saya cubalah nak memperkenalkan supaya kita semua tahu mengapa isu-isu yang berlaku di negara kita boleh berlaku semacam ini. Ya, sebab saya rasa kadang-kala masalahnya ialah orang kita tidak faham budaya orang lain. Tak kira lah, mungkin Cina tak faham budaya orang Melayu tak faham budaya orang Cina pula tak faham budaya orang India dan sebagainya. Dan apabila kita tak faham, mungkin kerana ada isu-isu yang terdahulu. Dan apabila kita tak faham, tak bercampur gaul, apa yang terjadi ialah bila timbul egonya, kita menggunakan kaca mata dan nilai kita sendiri untuk menghakimi orang lain. Itu sebabnya antara petang tadi atau pagi tadi, bos bagi komen dalam Facebook. Saya kata, isu orang yang bagi komen tentang tudung itu memang salah. Ya, itu memang salah. Mengapa? Kerana orang tersebut dia tidak faham tentang amalan dan budaya orang lain, terutamanya orang Islam yang memakai tudung. Jadi apabila beliau memakai ataupun beliau mengkritik tentang tudung ataupun membangkitkan isu tentang tudung dalam keadaan jahil tentang amalan orang lain, maka sudah menjadi satu kesalahan yang sudah menimbulkan ketegangan. Sama juga, ada juga orang Melayu yang tidak faham tentang budaya orang Cina atau budaya orang India. Dan apabila dalam keadaan tidak faham itu, mereka membangkitkan sesuatu isu, maka akan jadi tegang. Jadi saya rasa kita sebagai rakyat Malaysia patut meluangkan lebih banyak masa untuk saling faham memahami. Ya, saling faham memahami, saling belajar budaya, amalan rakan-rakan kita, jiran-jiran kita. Ya. Masih lagi banyak orang yang tak apa. Kita bagi orang melihat akhlak mereka ya. Kita bagi orang melihat akhlak mereka. Jadi sebelum saya mengakhiri sembang hari ini, kita nak mengucapkan juga selamat tahun baru kepada warga ataupun masyarakat Tamil di Malaysia, ya, dan juga masyarakat Sikh juga hari ini menyambut tahun baru. Kita ucapkan tahun baru kepada anda semua, ya. Malaysia ini satu negara, saya dah kata, dia macam sebuah taman yang mempunyai beratus jenis bunga, dan semua bunga itu cantik dan indah. Dan bunga-bunga ini, kita jadi bunga apa? Bukan kita jadi bunga apa? Bukan orang politik yang cakap lah. Macam orang yang provoke tadi. Anda jadi Melayu bukan kerana parti Melayu cakap anda Melayu. Saya Cina bukan kerana parti Cina kata saya Cina. Kawan kita yang berbangsa kaum India bukan kerana parti politik yang mengatakan mereka India. Kita dicipta oleh Tuhan, dan dicipta oleh Tuhan bukan untuk provoke macam itu. Kita dicipta untuk kita saling berkenalan, ya, saling berkenalan. Alright. Terima kasih kepada anda semua yang sudi untuk bersama dengan kita pada malam ini dalam Sembang-sembang Steven Sip. Selamat malam kepada semua. 大家祝你们有一个美好的晚上，谢谢你们。Thanks. Waalaikumsalam.